We've spoken a lot about the genocides, how it happened, and a whole lot of stuff that has been going on. If I say I'm going to go back to history, I think we might spend almost the whole day here, so I'm going to jump straight to the point. First of all, I would like to give my pranams and congratulations to His Holiness Swami Krishnanand Saraswati. Until recently, though I knew about it, but until recently, my attention was drawn to the fact that he actually helped Mauritius gain independence. And not that many people know about it. He's from India, he's from Mr. Swami. And nobody knows that he helped Mauritius gain independence, which is one of the amazing things Sanatana Dharma can also do for us. And then from there, to His Holiness Swami Galanand, who championed his cause. And then from there to His Holiness Swami Satyanand, my pronouns to all of them. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be talking about the genocide in Sudan. Sudan has a very, very long and amazing history. It dates back all the way back to like 10,000, 20,000 years ago. It was only recent that I was doing the research that I recognized that this community had a very, very huge and big history. I had no clue, I had no idea. So, first of all, how did it all start? It started when the land was actually called Kush, meaning the land of the black people. And they lived along the river Nile. So they were thriving, they have cattle, sheep, they were farming and all of that. Very, very amazing and enjoying their lives. And then all of a sudden, as times continue, the Egyptians, who were not at that time, they were not there. We don't know where, have no history of how the Egyptians came onto the land. But they found out that the people who were living along the river Nile, they were thriving. So it came up that they had an agreement with them to live alongside them, so they can also build their community. And as it stands, like everywhere in Africa, when you go, black people, they love each other, they like to accommodate each other because they are peace-loving people, until recently that the colonization crept in and then things started changing, and then all of a sudden greed, anger, hatred, power, and all of those things started to creep in. So they gave the Egyptians the chance to, come along and live on the northern part of Sudan. And that's how they formed their country, Egypt. And then when they realized that the Sudanese, they were very much rich in natural resources like gold, uranium, chromite, mica. It can go on, and I can go on and mention a lot. And also they were very, very strong people, thick, tall people. So they realized that during the Arab invasion, they recognized that they can actually buy and sell those people for slavery. So this is how the whole thing started. So they started taking them out there and then selling them to the Arabs for slavery. So it got to a point, they were like, no, we are not going to tolerate this. This is not going to happen. And so they started to rebel. Then the Arabs teamed up with the Egyptians, and then they fought against the original Sudanese people along the line, the River Nile. And then they defeated them. So now they are in control of all the natural resources. And this is how the Egyptians got the chance to rule them. Then as time went on, the Arabs, or probably the Muslim invasion, collapsed, and then we had the Anglo people coming in, which is the English. They came in, they couldn't fight the people, so what they did was they had a contract with the Egyptians. So it became an Anglo-Egyptian rule against the Sudanese people who were down the line. And then that is how the whole thing, the whole war started. Now, along the line somewhere, the war and the genocide actually started way back in 1955, which was not actually documented, because at that time they wouldn't document it. Because if they did, it means it was going to go against them, especially the British, because they found that the slave trade was actually working very well for them. So they didn't document that. And since that time, you can just imagine they were using child soldiers to fight wars around that generation. So when the war broke out between the Southerners and the Northerners, which now we call I think Darfur and the other side, so they had independence after a lot of agreements. And while this independence was going on, they were raising the flag. Unfortunately, the slide is not there, but they were raising the flags and stuff like that. The war was still going on that not many people were aware of, that the war was still going on. Then came the coup d'etat. The coup d'etat happened just after, I think, 11 years of the first democratic rule, because they were being annihilated and they were also being oppressed and suppressed, and the natural resources was not being shared fairly to the Sudanese people. So they woke up and they were like, no, it's not gonna happen. Then the first president was arrested and executed, and then came the war started, and then all the killings and atrocities and everything started. Unfortunately, the slide is not there. We would have seen some of these pictures. But later on, I'll work with Carl so we can put it on our website for people to see it. So, concluding, finally, there are a few questions that I decided to ask myself, which has already been asked this afternoon and this morning by a lot of our panelists here. So, first of all, what is the cause of these wars? Secondly, who actually benefits at the expense of the victims? And how does it start? Who supplies the weapons? What are those behind involved? What are they actually seeking for? Because when I looked at it, the only conclusion that I can draw is that I find, one, colonization, divide and rule has to come in so that they can get the natural resources. Secondly, they have to arm those people that they can convince and arm them and fight them against each other. That is the reason, that was what I came up with. And it can go on and on and on. But up until now, there is a little piece that is going on. There's a division between the South and the North. But if you go thorough into it, I'm going to get into politics, and it might affect quite a few people, so I'm not going to go there. You recognize that the West are championing the cause for the Southerners to be independent, not because of anything, because all the natural resources are down south. And it's very, very, very unfortunate that it has to happen like that. So, like my other colleagues said, the more we talk about it, we also need to educate our people and our children about it, so that these things don't happen again and again and again. And by saying that, I'll bring that to a conclusion. And if you want more of it, please, it will be on our website. And Carl Clemens is doing quite a good job, and I really appreciate it for that. And also Dr. Aditenji for giving us the opportunity. And I hope that this is going to go outside. I'm also going to spread outside and let them know that, look, this thing is not about Asianism, it's not about Indianism, it's not about only Bangladesh. Africans are also going through, Eastern Europeans are also going through, and please, we need to talk more and more about this. Thanks everyone, and I really appreciate all the effort.